How's it going, guys? Got another land battle replay for you, and this should be a good one. Calamity on the Dark Elves up against Resto on the Warriors of Chaos. This is another Vermin League game, and this is actually my last vanilla replay that I'll be casting from 4.2 now that the new update 5.0 has dropped. So hopefully it's an enjoyable fight. We got Malus Darkblade as the Dark Elf Lord with, of course, Demon's Curse, Blood Price, and, this is... what is it? Warp Sword of Cain. Granting that 0.2 heal and 5% ward save when his leadership is high. We also have a Bloodrack Medusa, pretty cool. They got their projectiles changed in 4.2, I think, or was 4.0, I'm not sure. But one of these updates changed it so the missile basically does a lot better against infantry. Just the way it explodes and tracks. But bleak swords from the front line, and we have some Cold One Knights, two in the center and two on the flank, or one each on the flank, and then we have some Dark Rider repeater crossbows as the range component. For the magic, we have Sorceress of Shadows with Pit of Shades and Malkoths, plus of course Dark Cloak for that power recharge rate. Now for the Warriors of Chaos, we're going to have Valkia as their lord with Spear of Sleipnir, and of course Demon Shield. For the front line, we're going to have a bunch of Chaos Warriors, a front line of Chaos Warriors to be exact, with Chaos Trolls with armor. The back line to help fight through any heavy armor or just in general infantry. And we have the Knights of Immolation, Doom Knights ROR, with that Searing Torrent ability, which is fantastic. Love these guys. My only issue with these guys is just flying units in general tend to be very janky when land attacking ground targets, especially when they have these amount of models. But we'll see how they do. We also have the Severed Claw ROR, Aspiring Champions, pretty great unit, as those of you know. High armor, 120 with that barrier. And pretty good stats all around. 40-52 with 90 weapon strength, 30 bonus versus large as well. Just fantastic. A staple in most matchups for the Warriors of Chaos. Now we do have a Sorcerer of Slaanesh for the magic lore with Pavane and Rod of Torment. Let's see how this goes. So right off the bat, they're going to discover the Cold One Knights from the Dark Elf side. We're going to have the Medusa just shooting in at Valkia. Probably going to switch over to the Knights of Immolation, giving the chance. Cold One Knights being discovered, going to pull back. Yeah, we're going to have that Medusa shooting in at this Cold One Knight. This Doom Knights can do a little bit of damage, knock off their shields. Dark Riders are actually caught by the Pavane and those Knights of Immolation. Going to pretty much finish off those Dark Riders, or at least rout them off completely. But in return, the Knights of Immolation are taking a lot of damage from the Overcasted Malkoths and from those Dark Rider repeater crossbows. Plus the Medusa shooting in, it's pretty substantial. Plus, then we're going to have a Spear of Sleipnir on top of these Bleak Swords. Wow, those Bleak Swords take a lot of HP damage. Unfortunately, luckily no model lost, but still. But yeah, those Knights of Immolation took so much damage. They're going to have to run back and regen some of that HP, or that barrier. Cold One Knights were charging after the Knights of Immolation or something. They didn't get a full charge off anyways. They are holding back Chaos Warriors, Chaos Trolls, and just a whole bunch of infantry for the Warriors of Chaos side. But in the meanwhile, the Medusa is just racking up value by shooting into this blob of Chaos Warriors and Aspiring Champions. So it's pretty good for them. Valkia is just causing havoc in the back line. We have some Chaos Warriors beating down on these Bleak Swords. Bleak Swords over out eventually. Chaos Trolls have gotten into the front line without the support of the Chaos Warriors, though the Chaos Warriors are getting there. In the meanwhile, however, Cold One Knights are going to get a charge onto those Chaos Trolls, forcing those Chaos Trolls to retreat. Medusa continuing shooting, though she was obstructed for a little bit. Now she's not. She's going to keep shooting in, do a little bit of damage in. Any damage helps. She does have a substantial amount of AP. We're going to have a Pit of Shade dropped on these Chaos Warriors. Going to do some good damage. Possibly rout them off. As Immolation have come back, very replenished. A Searing Torrent dropped on those Dark Riders. Pretty nice. Cold One Knights coming over and trying to surround these Chaos Trolls with the other one. Helped possibly break them off. Could be a nice catch. Valkyria just harassing the Dark Riders. They have another Pavilion dropped on these Dark Riders. And unfortunately, they're probably going to rout thanks to Valkyria. Golden Riders had a little engagement with the Chaos Warriors, but are pulling out. Dark Riders shooting in, but they're probably going to be caught by the Chaos Warriors because the Dark Elf player might not notice. Sorcerer and the Knights of Immolation are running down these Dark Riders and trying to get them off the field completely. Though these Code 1 Knights are making it hard for them, plus another mail cost dropped on them, this time not overcasted. Gonna do pretty good damage there, and trying to make their kind of retreat hard for them. Though, to be fair, the Code 1 Knights don't have a lot of speed, they only have 66. So, Code 1 Knights finally finished off these Chaos Trolls and are routing them off. Hopefully they can break them, or rather shatter them, and then leave. Medusa is being surrounded by Chaos Trolls, but she's going to disengage and get out of that, because even with her bonus versus large and melee, it's not going to be good to stick around. These Cold One Knights are actually going to charge into them and get a good engagement with them, so single them out with the help of the Bleak Swords and possibly rout them, because, you know, troll leadership. Speaking of flapping on these Dark Riders, dang, these Dark Riders are just sticking around for so long. But yeah, these finally rout off. Didn't really get any kills, and yeah, 79 value. They had a tough time. Knights of Immolation are finishing off these Dark Riders, and they are gone for sure. I'm surprised they haven't shattered, but yeah, they're dead. These Chaos Trolls have been engaged by these Cold One and Bleak Swords. Chaos Sorcerer is trying to help out here, but yeah, this is a lost cause. The Chaos Sorcerer is going to dip out. Knights of Immolation are suffering pretty badly. 10 models left, 721 HP. They just had a really, really rough time. Heck, these freaking these Dark Riders have come back and are going to get a volley off into these Chaos Trolls. Doom Bolt on top of these Cold One Knights, I think. I think that's what it is. Yeah, get a little bit of damage, not do a whole lot. Chaos Trolls being routed off completely or chased off by these Cold One Knights. And do we get another volley into by these Dark Riders, these Chaos Trolls? Hopefully these Cold One Knights can catch up. I mean, the charge, when you're charging, you do get a little speed bonus, and they're going to catch these Dark Riders. Yeah, that sucks. Another Pit of Shade dropped on these Chaos Warriors, going to do a bit of friendly fire damage into those Cold One Knights, but pretty much worth it, trying to get those Chaos Warriors off the field, though they are sticking around. Malus doesn't want to stick around with the Severed Claw beating down on him, so he should get out of there, which he will. Same with these Cold One Knights. Medusa is being harassed by Valkyria, and yeah, she is relentless. Demon's Curse thrown on top of them and these Severed Claw, so it's going to reduce their leadership and melee defense. We have a little bit of grind over here on this side. Cold One Knights and Bleak Swords are trying to finish off these Chaos Warriors, and these Chaos Warriors do rout with 22 models left. Medusa continuously being chased by Valkyria. I mean, this is, you know, well played by Rusto, just making sure to keep that Medusa on its toes, not able to shoot. Though Valkyria being infantry side, she's going to get, you know, stuck in engagements a lot easier than a larger target would. Though she is able to get out of this one. It is very, very risky when she's landing down on the Medusa. Medusa just beating down on some Chaos Warriors, going to get a little damage, and they can't really do much about it. And she's just going to slither away. And while they got their backs turned, these Cold One Knights are going to get a charge on them. That's pretty nice. Do a little bit of damage there. Possibly rout them off, especially with the help of Malus. What do we got? So we got a bunch of Bleak Swords and whatnot routed off. Being chased by Chaos Warriors. Cold One Knights engaged with some Chaos Warriors as well. Sorceress being chased by the Knights of Immolation, though I don't think the Knights of Immolation would actually finish her off at this rate. They only have 4 models left, and, you know, again, flying units just being buggy as usual, not really attacking. There we go, they finally attack. Start hitting her a little bit, though. If she stays in combat, it probably wouldn't be too terrible an idea. Cold One Knights have caught the Sorcerer, though the Sorcerer will be able to slip out of it once the Warriors of Chaos player notices, and they do. These Cold One Knights, very, very exhausted, are going to get a uphill charge on these Chaos Warriors. do a little bit of damage, but mostly hit that leadership and possibly get them the route down to -3. Yep, and then they route. Nice. Because I was saying, the sorceress finishes off those nice emulations, especially with that mouth cost. They are done for the game. Hopefully, I mean, I presume so. They're in 48, 40, 32. I would be surprised. Wow, that actually does not finish them off. 18 HP left, one model. Those guys are tough. Sorcerer being chased by these Cold One Knights, though they're not going to catch up. And the Blood Rack is just shooting in to this blob of, or this thin line of Chaos Warriors and Severed Claw, getting a bit of damage in before these Cold One Knights engage. Though there's some friendly fire there from that Medusa. And in return, Medusa is going to be charged down by Valkia. Valkia she's trying her best, man. She's trying her best to catch up, but she's struggling. At least she gets this charge, the hit in from the charge usually most of the time. Valkia getting surrounded by those Code 1 Knights is going to not be too bad, because she does have that Demon Shield popped, and then she does have that Anti-Large. Going to make it hard for those Code 1 Knights who are exhausted. Going to speed it up a little bit as units get chased down. Malus runs down here and surrounds the Sorcerer with the Cold One Knights, possibly routing them off. 14 down to 14 leadership. No way the Sorcerer gets away from this, right? I mean, come on down. Yep, there we go. -11 leadership, and the Sorcerer is gone. No more Pavane for the Warriors of Chaos side. Medusa being caught by Valkia, taking quite a few hits there, down to 760 HP. She does make it out of that engagement, though. The Cold War Knights are taking a beating in return, though, and they are going to rout off with only 5 models left. Sorcerer's still up. Might have a little bit of Winds of Magic. I'm not entirely sure. Cold War Knights do get a rear charge on the Sever Claw, but it's really not going to do much with those, with that barrier and just the Cold War Knights being freaking exhausted. I feel like the Cold War Knights are just going to take more damage in return. Medusa, again, being engaged by Valkia, is using to stop her from shooting, trying to get her to stop. But the only one that can really deal with Valkyrie here is Malus. So unless Malus stays on top of her, it's going to be hard to keep that Medusa safe. Malus does pop the blood price, though, and hopefully gets an attack in on Valkyrie here. 3000 HP. Will he get an attack here? Yep, something does. I think it's just the Cold One Knights. Will Malus get a freaking attack? I don't think he will. Yeah, it's just the Cold One Knights mostly. But Medusa, on the other hand, is able to shoot in the meanwhile, slowly whittling down the Sever Claw, doing a little bit of HP damage here, like 100 here with that volume. It's definitely much better against blobbed up infantry. Not as great against lower model infantry like the Severed Claw, who have such high armor, and then of course barrier, and then whatnot. Yeah, they're just so dispersed that shots aren't going to be accurate enough. Valkyria finishes off these Cold One Knights, but Malus just isn't able to get a good engagement with her. He might have gotten a few hits in here, but unfortunately Medusa is going to be calling it quits here after that attack. Most likely, yep, and there she goes, she runs. And these Cold One Knights have booked it as well. All that's left is Malus and the Sorceress. Can the Dark Elves clutch this out? I mean, we do have a full HP Malus practically. He still has Tz'arkan transformation. And of course, he's still regenerating HP. Sorceress might have a little bit of magic left, or wins. Medusa is possibly going to be finished off by a Valkyria there. Yep, and Medusa is gone. No, not going to be able to come back here. Severclaw are beating down on Malus. Again, he's taking a lot of damage. He's reaching his heal cap as well. Sorceress might go down. So she throws another Melkost, or rather, it's Demon's Curse, actually, not Melkost. And he pops into Tz'arkan transformation and swings the balance of power. Yep, that goes in the favor of Dark Elves. Pretty good game there. Pretty good last vanilla cast there. Good job by Calamity there. And to Resto, constantly being on top of that Medusa. But also, again, to the Dark Elves, back to the Dark Elves, constantly screening out Valkyria with those Cold One Knights. Sure, the Cold One Knights were suffering from that engagement, but keeping that Medusa online gave it so much potential to get all that AP damage and into these Chaos Warriors, and just be slowly whittling down on those, both the aspiring champions, rather Severed Claw, and the Doom Knights. So extremely well played by Calamity there. Sorceress, 1200 value. Yeah, of course, the 2 Pit of Shades and then some fantastic Melkos, because Melkos is just a fantastic spell. 1500 for Malus. He did fine, or rather, he did really good. Mostly just beating down on Chaos Warriors, Chaos Trolls, etc. And wow, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised to see the Medusa do so well. 1600 value. I mean, Calamity did well to keep her up and shooting, protecting it. So the new change was very nice for her, because Medusas typically were not that great, and that missile strength change, or rather that homing missile change, was fantastic for it. Actually made it viable to be used. Infantry obviously, iffy. 1600 value on this one and 1700 value on this one. I mean, this one got almost 1000. But these two just were real big highlights. Probably chasing down Chaos Trolls and engaging with those Doom Knights, and even just running down on Chaos Warriors. Yeah, they just picked up a lot of value there. Fantastic work. Dark Riders, unfortunately, got picked off, but Calamity more than made up for it with this chaos, by utilizing these Dread Knights, Cold One Knights, and the Medusa so well. So though it was extremely well played by Rust, though they're catching those Dark Riders, Calamity just played it so well. 2200 on Valkia, yeah, no surprise. Clear Slatnir, fantastic. Easy to get rack up value on, and just constantly beating down on the Medusa, chasing her down. And of course the Dark Riders as well. Just easy value on for Valkia. 1000 value, but also again with these type of debuff spells, rather these type of quote unquote, I wouldn't call it support, but maybe crowd control spells. It doesn't count towards value. You're counting the damage towards value, but not counting the fact that you caught that unit out, that super valuable unit out with that spell, and finished it off because of that spell. So yeah, the sorcerer did fantastic. Pavane is really, really good now with that rampage change. And it was just well played by Rusto. Nice catches. 1100 value on the Doom Knights. They did good. Didn't have that many great targets for their Searing Torrents, and kind of were punished quite a bit by both the Medusa shooting into it and of course Melkos. But they still did fantastic, obviously. 1200 value there. And yeah, Severed Claw, 2700 freaking value. They did freaking-tastic. I mean, they single-handedly were one of the reasons that Severed Claw, the Cold One Knights didn't make it so far into the late game, is because anytime the Cold One Knights would try to charge them, they would take off like 3 or 4 models there just with 1 or 2 whacks. It was ridiculous, yeah. But yeah, they're just such a stalwart, hard unit to get rid of. And they're really, really good. And of course, they're the only thing on that roster that can, or rather on this army, that could beat down on Malus like they did. If it wasn't for that Tz'arkan transformation, they could have easily killed him. But yeah, as you can see, that's why they're so good and such a staple. Everything else did fine. But yeah, wonderful game from both players. And I'll catch you guys in 5.0 for vanilla, at least. Some modded gameplay will come out. But other than that, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.